Brace yourselves, everyone, as what we're talking about today is a pipe dream, but might actually be a reality one day. Jumping straight into this comes from a very reputable source for Call of Duty leaks on Twitter, Ralph's Valve, who has been leaking Modern Warfare 2022 leaks for the past 6 to 8 months, dropping a bombshell on Twitter stating Activision are reportedly considering releasing remastered Call of Duty titles repurposed for newer consoles to fill out the empty space between premium Call of Duty titles, which sounds like the absolute best thing to ever happen. Now, when it comes to anything like this, which is just a rumor from one person, you can't take it as 100% fact because it just isn't. The idea alone is very exciting, and I know that this sort of news is going to excite a ton of you. Now, we've already seen Activision release remastered COD games before with Modern Warfare Remastered and Modern Warfare 2 Remastered. Now, immediately, the only remasters that I would want are Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2. Modern Warfare has had its fair share of remasters now. I want to see those classic Treyarch Black Ops games remastered for the current generation of consoles in 4K with beautiful graphics. I don't know why it's not been done yet, but that is something that I would absolutely love to see. Campaigns like Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2 are some of the best in Call of Duty history, and I think it's criminal that they haven't been remastered yet. And I would be happy even if it was just campaigns that were being remastered. Now, of course, curious people have replied hoping for Ralph to sort of clear the air on this, with Ralph's Valve saying depending on the success of Warzone or Modern Warfare 2 success persisting throughout the year, that will decide if they'll postpone or release a remastered Call of Duty title without the multiplayer. So if this is true, then it sounds like Activision could be treating this as like a plan B, like a sort of insurance policy. But in my mind, there is no doubt that Warzone and Modern Warfare 2 will not be successful throughout this entire year. But I feel like for a year like we're having right now with Vanguard, something like this would be an amazing thing to drop to keep the Call of Duty morale up. Now, there's a few more details which Ralph's Valve has confirmed in some other replies. At Impulse Grenades asked, is MW3 multiplayer in the conversation? And he said no, which is odd considering that Modern Warfare 3 is the only game left that hasn't been remastered to complete that original trilogy. And at Guns205 asked, are they considering releasing any of these on the Nintendo Switch? To which Ralph replied, I don't know. But I think it's really interesting to focus on the wording of his original tweet, that Activision are considering releasing remastered games repurposed for newer consoles. You can go back and look at some absolute classic games like Call of Duty World at War, Call of Duty Black Ops 1 and 2, which all have backwards compatibility on the Xbox Series X, but the PS5 doesn't really have that same functionality. And all these versions of the games now have multiple problems with them, with hackers, very low player counts, and just graphically just not looking up to par with, you know, what we're used to. But we grew up with these games, so we are perfectly fine with how these look graphically and how they play. But it would be nice to get a full remaster which repurposes everything and makes them even more beautiful and smooth to play. And I'm telling you, if there is only one game that they choose, then it has to be Black Ops 2. The multiplayer on Black Ops 2 is without question one of my favorite multiplayers that they ever have created. It was just so good. Zombies as well. Finally, we get Transit, Die Rise, Buried, and Mob of the Dead in 4K resolution, ray tracing, beautiful textures. Oh my god, it just sounds like a dream. And the fact that this game comes right after Black Ops Cold War, it just makes a lot of sense for me for them to go ahead and remaster it and bring it to the current consoles so that people are up to date with the storyline to see how it connects or branches into Treyarch's next Black Ops title, which I imagine will continue on Cold War but still be set before Black Ops 2. Maybe it will go into Black Ops 2. We don't know. Now, we've been talking a lot about Black Ops 1 and Black Ops 2, but if this next piece of news is correct, then what the hell is their strategy towards this? So at Miffy DSI replies saying next gen Black Ops 2 remastered, which is what we all want. Everyone wants that. And Ralph replied, of what I'm aware, Black Ops 2 Remastered isn't in the conversation for a remaster anytime soon. So then you're like, well, what game is it going to be? And RipClone5s asks that, where Ralph replies, World at War, Call of Duty 1 and 2, and backwards compatibility for Modern Warfare Remastered. Now, out of all of these, World at War is by far one that I am incredibly excited if it ends up getting the remastered treatment. The campaign was absolutely fantastic. It really introduced what we now know and love as the Black Ops universe. It really started it all. We have Reznov there as a central character. You've got so many iconic locations from WW2 with some amazing level design, and it of course had an incredible multiplayer as well, which is miles better than what we have with Vanguard, even though it's in the same setting. It just had this incredibly dark and eerie, gloomy mood. Even the main menu with its background music just made you feel uncomfortable. Like, the atmosphere on this game is just second to none. And then the introduction of zombies for the first time with Nakda and Toten, Varuk, Shinanuma, and Darius. Now, at this point, we've seen all of those maps remastered enough times, but if this was happening, then they would get remastered again and probably have that real creepy atmospheric touch that the original Zombies mode was known for, and has sort of lost that ever since World at War. Don't get me wrong, if this is true, it's very disappointing that they're not considering Black Ops 1 or 2. I definitely think they should, especially with Cold War being such a massive game. Black Ops 1 definitely needs a campaign remaster, as does Black Ops 2. But if it's true about World at War, then I am going to be incredibly excited to revisit that, because it is such a good game. And then we look as well about Call of Duty 1 and 2. Now, I personally have never played these, but they are obviously incredibly dated. And this series has had so many Call of Duty since those games have come out. Looking at other massive franchises like Halo, the Master Chief Collection, for example, they of course remastered Halo 1 for its anniversary, which looks amazing. And Call of Duty has never done anything like that, to go back and remaster the first original game and bring it to, you know, the modern day. I bet you probably less than 5% of people that are playing Call of Duty nowadays played these original games when they came out. So I think it'd be really interesting to see what a remastering of games that are like 20 years old would be like. And it'd be really interesting to see the reception as well on how a remaster of the very first Call of Duty game would be received. But according to Ralph's Valve, when it comes to the other games that we all want to see remastered, everything else was described by an associate as complicated. And when it comes to Modern Warfare Remastered, he believes that's more in reference to it being on the Nintendo Switch, which I think would be understandable considering that it came out in 2016 and we're 6 years on from that. Why wouldn't the Nintendo Switch be able to run that? Imagine the first ever Call of Duty game that is fully portable on the go on the Switch. But it'd be really interesting to see what their timings are of this, because as we know, we're getting a new Call of Duty this year, and then after that, we're getting nothing until the end of 2024 with Treyarch. We know there's some sort of free-to-play Call of Duty coming in between that, which no one really has any clue about, but it's apparently being developed by multiple studios, including Treyarch. But then there's a chance that we might be getting a remastered game during that year as well. Let me know what you think of all of this down below in the comment section. Again, this can't be taken as 100% fact, but it's a very interesting rumor from someone that has a track record of leaking tons of Call of Duty information for a little while now. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a thumbs up and subscribe to keep up to date with the latest. And on your screen is another one of my videos. Click that and I'll be with you in just a second.